At White Sands Missile Range in New Mexico, they hold a Bataan Memorial Death March. And the intent of it is to honor the men that survived and those that didn't by doing a grueling 26.2 march through the high New Mexican desert. So as I got here and I knew I was going to be here, as the race happened in New Mexico, I decided that I would still do it at the same time, but I will do it here in Djibouti. When I associated this race with a person that I knew what went through, and that first one, Corporal William Henderson Coffield Jr., and then I ran into the family of Private First Class Francis Bania. He was 19 during the war when they surrendered, made the march, survived the march, and spent 3.5 years in various prison camps there. And I was able to associate it and really know their stories and see their faces and carry the pictures. It made it that much more important to me to do. When the family had sent me his identification armband and a couple of his service medals and wanted me to carry that along the march, and again, I was so touched by receiving that stuff. I told the Bania sisters, I said, I will tell his story to as many people as I come across. I ran across a Marine, a prior Marine officer, who I had told the story to, him and his wife. And he saw me carrying the case, and he ran up to me and he said, "Hey, Chief, you told me that story yesterday. It's remarkable. Thanks for sharing it with me. Do you mind telling me again?" And I said, "I'm sorry." He says, "I just want to record it." And I said, "Okay. Like, when do you want to do this?" He's like, "Could we do it right now?" And I said, "Well, sure, I guess we could do it right now." This year, I'm reminded of Captain Sierra when I initially started talking to him about the march. And he says, "You're crazy, Chief. There's no way I'm going to do that." And then I shared with him the story of Private First Class Bania. And when he heard that story, he was like, "Chief, you got me. I'm in this. And I need to do this. And now I will do this." And those that experience the Bataan Memorial Death March truly appreciate what it's all about when they're out there.
So it's about commitment and it's about zeal. You want to commit yourself every day to something more than what you have decided you wanted to do for that day. Here, you have to apply a little bit of zeal to push yourself beyond the limits of human exertion. And that's what this is all about. And this is what fires me up.
So you definitely have to be strong, especially if you decide to enter in the category where you're carrying a pack. Leg strength, the legs fatigue quickly. So it's important to have kind of that comprehensive fitness. Time on your feet's one thing, but if you're carrying that pack, your legs need to be strong enough to sustain that time. Out here in Djibouti, the entire 26.2 miles is going to have to be done on camp, which is okay, but there's no inclines or declines. It's relatively flat. The challenge here is going to be it's mostly hardball, and it's hard on your feet. It's a test of will and strength for sure, but it's the camaraderie of the event and leave no person behind aspect of it. And without question, everyone that I've ever taken out there or everyone that's ever participated with me, I think there's a time during the course that they say to themselves and me that I will never do this again. But by the time that it's over, every one of them wants to return, because it is such an emotional and significant event that is so much more than a 26.2 mile race through the desert.